We get so many requests for masculine cards, and Hunky Dory has come through with a whole collection called Hobbies for him. And Heidi has been having a great job just creating some beautiful things for us. So please, come play with us. Well, here's some of the collection. So we've got the luxury topper kit. We have the inserts. We have the adorable Scoreboard with 30 sheets. We have the 8x8 picture perfect double-sided papers. And look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, let's see, you're going to see this in the projects. This is called oxidized metals, and they're just stunning. You can see a photo there. And then to top it all off, we've got cutting dies called Build a Shed. It might be a he shed or a she shed, but it's all together. So let's bring on the projects and see what Heidi has done for us. We'll get in a little bit closer just so that you can really see what she's done. Now for this card, she took the adorable Scoreboard, simply scored it in half and used that as her card base. So that gives you the color. That is the oxidized metal. That's the blue one. Just really pretty. So what she did is she took the square and scallop cutting dies, as you can see, and she cut the frame out of the blue oxidized. So here is what that looks like, just so that you can see. This is on a Miri cardstock, M-I-R-R-I, and so it's highly reflective. It's just really gorgeous. I think you get 10 sheets of this. You get the blue, the copper, and a green. So blue is what she's used right here. And she so she cut that frame. So you're going to use the largest one and then the next smallest to cut that out. And what it's going to frame is a sheet out of the 8x8 book. And all of those sheets, as I said in the opening, they're double-sided, so that's always nice. And you get several different sizes. So you can see that she's used this piece as the backing for this frame. And you might know that this is a shaker card, so we'll be getting into that. The other pieces, these two she used on the inside, you kind of see them with the window. Now, to create that window, you're going to go back to the square and scalloped, and you're going to take the next to the smallest, so next largest to the smallest, and place it there, and then place it there again to cut two of them right in line with each other. And she has edged these with thin line dazzles. Now thin line, there are 63 pieces on a sheet, and this package has black, white, gold, and silver. Obviously she used black right there. So that just makes a really nice decorative edge oh so easily. So that's always nice to have. Now let's get back to the shaker part. So as I said, she's going to take this piece and glue it straight down in the center of this area. You can see how it's centered. That's going to work perfectly. On her frame, she wanted to use some acetate behind that oxidized metal frame. So she went to our heat-resistant acetate. This is just, it's a wonderful acetate. It's our best seller. However, you can just also use a sheet of acetate, and we sell them by the sheet. So if you don't have a lot of need for them, that might be the most economical way. Now on the frame, she attached the acetate, then she put 2 layers of foam tape all the way around this, and that foam tape is touching each other, so all of those pieces are forming that barrier to hold these inside. So with that photograph or that piece of art down, then she took 2 things. She used the limeade sprinklets, and she also used the ink blot. And you can see that, I think you can see, you get just a touch of the black, and it just gives a little bit more dimension going on. So a little bit goes right down, and then that foam taped frame goes right on top, and that just creates this. Now she used a bow from our black ribbon set. And you may not think you would use black very often, but it does come in handy. And that was zodded right there. She put a knotted piece right here. And then for her accents, she used, this is the Soda Pop, yes, Soda Pop Wishing Baubles. And they are already attached, they're already self-adhesive. Some lay flat, they look like a half bubble, like these down here. I like the large, medium, and small going right at the corner. And others are on foam tape, so they come that way, and it just gives you a bit of dimension so easily. Now for her greeting, I'll scoot these around. She used the tiny words and phrases, so happy birthday is just placed right on top of the acetate, so it doesn't interfere at all with that shaker card. In fact, you can probably see it a little bit better right there. So that works very nicely. And on the inside of her card, now the inside, she elected to cover it with the red Adorable Scoreboard, as you can see. And she used over here that another part of that piece that she used on the front to make her frame. So this is the blue oxidized right there. And you can see, because you saw them through the front, those two pieces were glued in position. Now here, she used the black thin line dazzles on the front, but on the inside she used silver, and that just really pops against the black and along this line that has the barrier between the two. Right down here, you're the best, again, those smaller dazzles, and just a little 1-inch bow was zotted in place right there. So really nice, very easy to do and very effective to do, I might add. Okay, the second card, Heidi has created what she calls a telescoping effect, and you can see that this piece is flat. The next one is raised up on one layer of foam tape. The outside one has 2 layers of foam tape, and it just works really nicely. Now, what she used for her base was this. This is the Adorable Scoreboard. It comes in the topper collection. And see, and let me just show you. This is the topper one. So she didn't use the bicycle, she didn't use the gardening, she used the walking a dog, and I'll tell you, that's just quite perfect for my husband. And so she used this side, and this is the foiled Adorable Scoreboard. Where's that foiling? Come on, shine for me. There it is, it's shining, okay. And she used this side because she wanted to use the topper, and that's this art, so she didn't use that on the front. But it's nice because she used this whole area. So let me just lay that right there. So you can see she started just above the blue, in the blue area, and went down into that rocky border right there. So you get this fancy foiled edge right at the top there. So that's a nice bonus. Now she matted that. So she cut it. The sizes are all down below in the gallery, so just click on this card and then you'll see the measurements. So she cut this piece to size and then matted it on the light green Adorable Scoreboard and placed it on her card. And then she did the layers as I've explained. This one flat, 1 layer of foam tape, 2 layers of foam tape. Then Have the Best Day, that's just been glued right on top, and that does a nice job. The Adventure is Awaiting. Now that's been just glued right here. It's going to, it can flop a little bit, that's fine. Now for her accents, she used the blue shimmer sparklets, also from Hunky Dory. So you can see a couple of pieces there, one there. The ribbon, well, of course, that's going to come out of our blue ribbon set, as you would expect. That's been zotted right on top. Now for the inside of her card, as you know, there are inserts that come from Hunky Dory, and the art matches the art in the toppers. So she used that on the inside of her card, as you would expect, and then added right above here some other pieces of the toppers. And let's see, that's the border piece. So she just cut, I think it's about a 2.5-inch piece, started from the fold and brought it over. It's glued flat, and that little puppy is right there. And the Just Because and the stars, that comes from the Dazzle set, so that worked nicely. And then also more of the blue sparklets just attached right there. So again, makes a really nice card, easy to do and nice to have. Okay, now we've got something a little different for you with Heidi's next card. And let me bring it in. Here we go. This is, well, let me just open it for you so you can see on the front. This is fishing, also would be good for my husband. And when you open it, and then this telescopes out. So we've got a couple of telescoping, don't we? So very nice, very clever. Now you do, well, Heidi used 2 of our 5 by 6.5 inch cards to create this. Let me show you what she did. With the first one to be on the front of her card, okay, so you can see that, she used a piece again of the adorable Scoreboard that's in the package, and this is the one that she used. It is not using the fisherman because she's going to use that fisherman topper similarly to what she did on the previous card. So she went over here, and what's nice is she got, whoops, let me turn this over. She turned it over. I didn't realize that. She turned it over, turned him on his head, and then cut from the bottom up to the top. So she ends up having the sky at the top of her card. Really nice. And so that was measured and glued onto the front of her card. Now she used the border that's on the topper sheet, just right down here. And you know, I have to back up a second, erase that. She didn't put that on. Right here she's got that. And we need to do the die cutting, don't we? So we need our cutting dies, the circle. Did I not pull those? I am so sorry I didn't. Well, shame on me. Okay, our circle and scalloped cutting dies. So while you have this piece and you've got just the cardstock attached, not this piece, okay, just the cardstock, then you want to cut it, die cut it through the die cutting machine. That way it's just going to go right through. If you do not have a machine that will take the 6.5 inches, if you've got the Gemini Junior or the Big Shot, well then what you can do is simply put the cutting die there and then wrap this around on top, and that way you can just put it through as a sandwich that way. Just make sure that the die is only cutting the top of your card, okay? Then we're going to go back and add that border, as I said. And I'm hoping you can see this. I can see it, yeah, I think you can see it there. With all of this gold foiling, what Heidi did is she added more thin line gold dazzles just on each side of the border. And it just, you know, just reinforces that gold sparkle. Now, up here, she took the Enjoy Your Special Day and simply glued it to that circle. She did glue the largest circle of the fisherman, and that circles around her opening right there. Now, the bow comes from the ivory ribbon set. Now, this isn't very exciting on its own, but it does a really nice job of supporting the elements on the card, and I think that's really nice. So that's been zotted. Okay, now let's get toward that inside area and that part that just folds right out, really nice. So what Heidi did, now she took a second card, as I said. You can just use white cardstock if that's your preference, so whatever you like. It needs to measure 9 3/4 by 6 1/4. Then we've got 2 score lines. So one is at 4 3/4 inch, the other is 7 1/4. Now, if you're using one of the cards that already has that score line, just be sure to make sure that when you cut this, this is the 4 3/4 measures out, and then this will work, okay? Now, this one, you're going to score that line, and this line too. This is going to become a mountain fold. This is a valley fold, just like that. Now, this piece is going to get decorated before it goes inside our card. It's just going to be a little bit easier and less cumbersome to do it that way. So Heidi went to the insert. So this time on this webisode, she's using the inserts as the inside of her card. So that works. This piece is going to get trimmed down, and it's going to get matted on that really pretty teal out of the adorable Scoreboard. Now, when this is matted, it is going to go against this fold. Now that seems odd, I know, but it's going to get matted again and placed against the fold. So you're going to have that teal edge on 3 sides, not on 4 sides, okay? Then this area is also going to have a piece of that same teal right there. And we're going to do all of these, the same measurements that are in the gallery. And let me just show you. So you can see that that piece of white cardstock, or the card base, is going to be the mat for all of these areas, okay? So that's what you're going to do. So that's the teal, it just reinforces that teal. Now over here, she has already used this piece. So how do you get more of those cattails? Well, on the inserts, I think you get 4 of each one. So she took a second one and cut it and glued it right there. So just trim that off. So that's an interesting way to look at it, that the insert, you could cut them apart and do different things with them, and I think that's really kind of nice. So that's what she did here. Now, with all of them, she used the gold thin line dowels, as you can see, on 3 sides here and on 3 sides right there, just going a little bit onto the insert. That worked really nicely. This piece, well, this is the center, and then the next frame, that is going to get glued, but you want to make sure that it's going to show when the card is closed. So don't glue it down until you have it positioned, then attach it. And as you know, it's just going to get attached on the right-hand side. So this just pops up. It's a really, I think it's a really nice card, and I think it's a really very, very nice technique. But wait, there's more. Okay, let me show you her last card. Look at this. How fun is that? Well, this is, of course, using the Build-A-Shed cutting die. Now this has 38 pieces in it. Oh my goodness. And just so that they're not being accused of being sexist, it is a he shed, a her shed, and an our shed. So that's politically correct and also very smart of these guys. So let me show you what Heidi has done. Now in this, she has used the adorable Scoreboard. So you can see she first cut a blue piece, and that's going to be the base, but do not glue it on until you build these things upon it, okay? That way you've got a little bit of wiggle room. So let me show you what she's done. She has this part, as you can see, is bowed. Okay, you see that? Now inside, I'm hoping you can see that there is another piece, another green piece. It too is slightly bowed. Let me show you how she did that. For the piece that's on the inside, I've done it out of red. And this piece, let me look at my measurements. Okay, it's 5 inches by 3 inches. So 3 inches is the height. Then what Heidi tells us in the directions is do a measurement 2 inches up over on the left-hand side, then draw a line from that mark up here, and then you're going to cut along that line, okay? The other thing you're going to do is you're going to make tabs so that this can attach, and the tabs will need to be scored. So she recommended the adorable Scoreboard. This is a mini Scoreboard. It is perfect for card making. So you're taking this piece, turning it over, pushing it over to the edge, and then going at the 1/2 inch mark. You can see that there are inch marks. Well, you probably can't see, but I can see standing here. There you go. So I'm at the 1/2 inch, and all you do is use the stylus that comes with it and just press, turn it around, and press again, okay? Then we're going to set this aside for a moment, and then we're going to put the extra sticky tape, this is the red line tape, on the adorable Scoreboard, on the colored side. So you want to just put it along the score line, but you put it on the tabs, those outside tabs. It's going to sit like this. And then what's going to happen is that when you position it, so okay, so you get the idea of the size. This is going to go about in the center area of your card. So you're going to attach it right there, and then let it bow a little bit, just a little bit, and then attach the other side. That extra sticky tape will hold it down very nicely, okay? So that's one piece. We're not going to do anything else with it. Now for the second piece, we're going to do the same thing, but notice this one went down. This one goes down going on the other direction. So in this case, we're going to have a 6.5 by 3 1/4, okay? Then we're going to, so it's 3 1/4 high. We're going to measure up 2 1/4 inches, make a mark, draw a line up to the corner, cut along that line, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this and we're going to make 2 score lines. And you don't have to press really hard. It just does it very nicely. And you don't have to worry about staying in that groove because it will automatically do that. Okay, now I'm done with this for a bit. So that's all I need. Now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold this back. Now, in the last one, we put the extra sticky tape on the colored part, okay? This time we're going to put it on the white part. Why? Because this is going to wrap around our card going toward the bottom of this piece of Adorable Scorable. So you're going to attach it there, then again bow it a little more severely than you did the other one, and the measurement should take care of that because you're going to wrap this around that blue piece, okay? Then you can start embellishing. Then we're going to get to the fun stuff, and that includes using another of the oxidized cardstock. This is the kind of brown or copper, however you want to think about it. I think it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But look what Heidi's done. She has used that cutting die, and let me just show you a couple of the different ways you can do it. So you can do a solid piece, you can do the door, and she did 2 of them and then foam tape them together, and that door will open. Nice. Okay. Then for her title, the His Shed, there's a backing piece. We want to do that out of white. That way you can glue them together and you can read it, okay? Now there's also little lanterns right there. So she die cut them out of the black cardstock. So out of the Adorable Scorable, you're going to be using tan, black, brown, and green, also the dark green. So I have that somewhere on this table. And so those 2 get foam taped on, and then this is going to get glued just right to that first piece that we attached, okay? Then you can die cut all of these other elements, so you can see that there is a chair, barbecue, wheelbarrow, tools. Inside, she's got the lawnmower. Well, of course, that's where the lawnmower goes, is in the shed. And all of these get either glued flat or foam taped, however you want to do it. Now, Heidi added some dazzles just to give a little sparkle. So she's got pink dazzles in her, the plants, and she's got silver dazzles were placed on top of another dazzle. Now this is just using the butterflies, but this comes from Family and Friends dazzles. This is an 8 by 9 sheet in several different colors. So the butterflies are on here and here, and that's where she used the silver dazzles. On the inside of her card, she covered the whole thing with this light blue, and then did the shed again, this time cutting the window out of it, and you get even the look of wood on it, so that's fun. Out of the ivory, she did the roof out of brown. I forgot to mention the roof was done out of just regular brown on the front of the card. And then there's a bicycle, as you can see, another chair, more plants. The hello comes from the Friends and Family dazzles, as well as the little heart, more of the dazzles on the spokes of the wheel. And just does a really nice job. What a very fun little scene to create, and you can do lots with that cutting die as you choose to. Okay, I've got one more thing to show you, And this is a twisted easel card. There is another kit out of this collection, out of the Hobbies for Him. It's called a Twisted Easel Concept Card Collection. Well, when they do that, let me turn it over, you can see that it's going to make 8 easel cards. Everything is included, even the envelopes to mail them, so that's really nice. The instructions are right here, but I think you know how to do a twisted easel, but just to make sure, I just put this one together. So you get the card base. It's printed on both sides. You get the foiled toppers to add. You get pieces to become the easel. And this is already scored, by the way. And so when you open it, that's how that easel goes. There's the piece to foam tape to hold that easel in place. You've got a border, you've got best wishes and some other greetings for every single one of the cards. And you've got some extra pieces too, so that's really nice. You can add a ribbon if you like, and I think that would be a nice addition. Okay, so this completes the Hunky Dory Hobbies for Him collection. So you've got the toppers, you've got the inserts. Whoops, I threw something. You've got the adorable Scoreboard. We're gonna have to back up, Steve. We also have this amazing oxidized Mary cardstock. You've got the 8x8, which she used in that first project, and the cutting dies, and as I said, the Hobbies for Him twisted easel. Okay, you wanted some masculine things, we've got them. Of course we listen to you. Thank you so much for being part of our Paper Wishes. Let me know what you think. There's comments. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll happy to hear your comments and listen to you. And if you are, as you know, we have a money saver over on the right side of your screen. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please head on over, get all of those directions down below. Take advantage of the money saver, and please join us even more. We love having you, and thank you for being the very best part of Paper Wishes.